Recording. Okay, Keith, can you stand up and just say hello? Here we go.
Hello.
Right, we can't see you there.
Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Okay. Okay, you can sit down. Yeah. Okay, so that's the start. So, unfortunately, Keith is having some internet problems, and so he's come into the studio today to so we can have our meeting here. Okay, so I'll get on with the meeting. All right, here we go. So, welcome back to the spiritual journey. It's the second week. Yes, the second week of the third year, the 31st of August, 2021. Okay, so I hope you've had a good week. Yes, great. Okay, so today we will be continuing with the flat Earth theme we looked at last week. Yes, do you remember that you read part of one of my spiritual theses last year?
Yes.
Yes. Now, in chapter 1, I mentioned I had an accident when I was 9 years old. Yes, I don't know if you remember that. That put me in a coma for nearly 7 weeks. Yeah. After leaving hospital, when I recovered sufficiently, I went to the middle of a grassy field. About 200 meters in the distance, I could see some trees, but was quite alone in this field. Yes, because I was at that moment slightly handicapped by the car accident and had little chance of leading an ordinary life. Yes, being up to speed on an ordinary life. I made a little prayer. Yes, and this is documented in my thesis. I said, God, I want to see the things the way Jesus saw them. I want to walk in his steps. Yeah, that was it. That was my small prayer. I then got on with life with that prayer in mind. I felt I walked with the Spirit of Christ. Yes. Now, just a few weeks ago, yes, I reminded myself of that moment. I made a little video reenacting that moment. Yes, so I've made a little video there as well. I had come to the realization that the way Jesus saw the world was as a flat plane, not a globe. Yes, the way he saw it, because the globe wasn't actuality in the time of Jesus 2,000 years ago. Yes. It's only the scientists that tell us it's a globe. There is no proof, except maybe photoshopped images, yes, taken from space, which NASA gives us, and also a Greek man, a Eurostatus of Cyrene, excuse my Greek, who, with sticks and shadows using mathematics, came to the conclusion that the Earth is a globe. Yes, although that same experiment can be used to prove the world is flat. Yes, it just depends on how you do the experiment. So, taking that into account, I'm reminded also that you cannot serve two masters. Yes, Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Yes, you cannot serve God and mammon. Yes. Now, personally, I've always liked the idea of science. It's an interesting idea, especially science fiction, but that's just fiction. Like most things, I don't know if you remember the series, Lost in Space, Star Wars,
Yeah.
Star Trek, and that talk of an infinite universe of spinning planets. We know that's fiction, don't we? We know that that is fiction. Star Trek and but that puts the idea into our minds that that is real, and yet when the scientists, who are our point of authority, yes, we believe everything, tells us this or that, we believe them, even if they make mistakes or tell lies. We think they're only human and doing their best. Yes. About 3 years after saying a prayer, the prayer in the field when I was 9, so this time I was about 12 years old. The prayer, I want to see the things the way Jesus did. Now, I went to a grammar school where only the staff knew of my accident and the disabilities that I had, that were basically invisible, except when it came to writing. Now, there in the grammar school, during the first term, I read the Bible in front of a third of the school children in the main hall. Yes, I did a morning service, as we call it. You might have. Did you have morning service when you were at school?
Yes.
Yes. So what I read was Genesis chapter 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. I can't remember how much I read. It can't have been too much because I wouldn't have taxed myself that much. But let's read that same verse again. Yes, and we'll just read from verse 5. Yes, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And so, and it was so. Yes, he divided the waters. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and gathering together the waters called he seas, and God saw that it was good. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. That's chapter, go back to chapter 5. Okay, so basically that's verses 5 to 5 to 10. Yes. So it may not be scientific for me, yes, but that was the way Jesus saw the earth, with the firmament. Now the firmament is a dome, yes, not with loads of balls flying around each other using gravity. It was very, very simple. So I've never taken much interest in science, really. My instincts were being fine-tuned into spiritual realms, not the scientific. Yes?
As if that's lies.
I'd chosen Christ as my master, not the science. Not the science, yes?
He accepted some of the things there because he was human.
Okay.
He was spiritual, didn't he? He knew everything.
Okay.
He had some limitations.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Now, if God talks of separating the waters from the waters, in what way does that chime with the Big Bang Theory? It doesn't, does it? I mean, we talk about water and he's talking about explosions.
Well, if you take in Genesis to be the true plan, how it actually happened, that's a mistake. It's one of many, many creation stories, which that one is probably the best there is, which was gathered around over hundreds of years.
Keith, you have to come forward a lot to be able to, so we can hear you on the.
Right.
You have to sit forward and put your head here, basically. Yes.
Genesis is just one of many stories, creation stories, which many cultures had, but not quite the same, and in fact quite different. But we believe that the creation story has a message, has messages, not about the actual creation, how it actually happened. Because there's some things which are just not believable, like the sun standing still, being made to stand still by one of the prophets. Stood still for a great long period. That would be, I think, impossible.
Okay, well
and that the Earth doesn't go in any sort of ellipse or whatever, and the sun doesn't go around the Earth, although that's what was taught for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, until people like whoever it was, the Roman Catholic, was imprisoned, or at least in house arrest, for teaching heresy.
Okay, so
he was one of the newer, better informed scientists, I would say.
Okay, well, I'm not here to argue it or debate it. So in my interpretation, the Big Bang Theory is just the explosion during the battles of the First World War, with the intentions of recreating the world in a lie that Satan or Mammon could be proud of. There's no talk of water in the Big Bang Theory, just hot air. That's my personal interpretation.
Right, to believe.
Okay, so that's it for this week. Oh, yes. You may want to look at these videos, so they are on the Facebook group page and in the research videos on the Google website, The Spiritual Journey. Now there's a link provided in the YouTube video description below the video. Also on the research page of the website, there's a free flat Earth map in the description of the video below. More emergency landings proving flat Earth. Yes. So I've got all the links on the handout. So basically that's it for this week. Yes, because I didn't want to go on with it too long. And don't forget, it really is just exploring this other theory. Yes. And the other theory is just as interesting. Yes. And there's no need to be if you look at the theory with a cool logic mind, that's enough. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave it there for now, and I'll say goodbye. So it's goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye from me.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you Friday. Laundry.
Okay.